everyone, and welcome to Medford Happenings, a show for and about the city of Medford. I am John Petrella, and the purpose of this program is to give Medford citizens facts and information to help you make informed choices and to discover city services or businesses you may not have been aware of. We have a special guest today. I think you know him. He is the president of the city council, Zac Beers. And welcome to the show, Zach. And can't thank you enough for coming on. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, John. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you to your team as well.
Okay. We're going to get right into the show. We're just going to hit you with some questions. And the first question, we ask this of everyone, Zach. Most people do know you, Medford City Councilor. But can you share, just a little bit more about yourself with our viewers? Who is Zac Beers?
Sure. I think people, at least I would describe it, people know me as a passionate, principled advocate. I think also maybe a bit of a nerd. I really just care about the issues in front of me, about our city, about my community. My actions are based on my values. Like it's what I bring to situations. It's how I come to City Hall. And I also just want to know as much as I can about anything and everything. And that's certainly what I try to bring to the city, to city council, but also, I'm a big fan of music, history, art, sports, and all the different ways that comes out. So, but yeah, I grew up here. I'm from Medford. I love Medford. I think it's, in my opinion, the best place in the world. I know a lot of people really love our city. Some who live here, some who don't yet.
Yep. No,
hopefully they can come here. Some who want to come back.
Right.
And, for me, I know so much, but there's so much possibility in this city. And we've done a lot, but I think we all know what kind of future is possible for our city, and I really care about seeing that through.
And we all want to get there.
Yeah.
That's for sure. All right. So as a council member, you play a major role in many changes in the city. Is there one accomplishment, or maybe there's more than one, that makes you really feel proud or good about the impact you're having on the city?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to boil it all down, and things are interconnected, but I've been really happy with the work that we've done on the budget process. We, as a city council, certainly have a major role, and we are the legislative branch, right? And our job is to try to set the direction of the city, put out policies that we believe in, and also bring as much transparency and accountability as we can. The mayor is the CEO. The mayor executes, and the council guides, advises, requests. Sometimes that's a hard role because sometimes we don't have the decision making that we might want to have.
You don't see eye to eye sometimes.
Sure, that too, and really the first few years, especially unexpectedly, when I started 2 months later was COVID, right? That was my first year, and between that and the inflation after that, and what's happening to cities and towns and has been for years, really getting opening up and understanding more about the budget process has been really important, and we really have put a lot of work into, as a council, working with the mayor and also in some ways getting the mayor to agree to a process that starts earlier, that people can be more involved in, seeing the budgets for the departments early, then putting in some requests, seeing the budgets, getting that back, and we've been there with that. June 15th, everything comes out on June 15th, and you have a week to figure it out, and it's a big deal. It's a $200 million budget, and so trying to open that up has been really important, and a part of that was the campaign in 2024, the questions 6, 7, and 8, right?
Right. Yeah.
The tax overrides and the proposed debt exclusion for the fire station, and I think with all the facts that we have, that was something we needed to do as a city.
Okay.
And I think we saw the benefits of that with our teacher contract. Huge win for our schools.
Right.
You know, we signed a teacher contract that really advanced a lot of priorities, and not just supporting, compensating our teachers, but getting the schedules aligned so that if you're at Medford High, you can be on the Voc. You can take Voc programs.
Right.
You can take the other classes, take arts and music.
Yeah.
And that took a big lift. And so that was really important. And I think, you know, something that I think we can always communicate better. I was sad that the way that went ended up being yes, no,
right.
The division element of that's something that I've been trying to learn from and understand, because that's not how you want to do it. And I think we got a lot of good out of it.
Right.
And we have a big decision as a community around our high school coming up.
Yes, we do.
And for me, I definitely have learned some lessons about getting people to the table and communicating. And also, you know, we've been really pushing as a council now for years about the residential tax exemption, homeowner occupied tax exemption. And I think that's something we really need to
look into.
More than look into. I think we need to do it. I think we need to do it at the same time that we do the debt exclusion.
Right.
And it's not going to help everyone, but it certainly helps the people
that need it most. Yeah, I think
so. You know, the hard part is the state doesn't give us many options.
I understand. No, I understand.
Yeah. So,
all right. You know, I'm not going to get into me personally, but there's certain things that, you know, I know. I always say they keep you up at night.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's got to be, you know, challenges and things that you face. And, you know, if you could pick something or something that, like, you know, means a lot to you, keeps you up at night, what might it be? Can you think of anything?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we don't want you up that much.
No. Well, you know,
there are things,
and it's not like that tomorrow it's all gonna be a mess, right? It's not that kind of. I'm worried about what's gonna happen the next day. But you know, some of the things there needs to be a lot of progress on them.
Right.
And I think something we've seen for a long time in this city is not having the execution on our plans. So really the failure to execute on our plans. We do a lot of planning, and then we get to implementation. We get to the rubber meeting the road, and either it doesn't happen or it hits bumps right away, hits potholes, and literally and figuratively. And, you know, we have a major backlog for roads and sidewalks. We have one of the oldest water sewer systems. Our team at DPW has been working on that, but, you know, as much work as you put in, it's really hard to get back from where we were 45 years ago. DPW is half the size, half the number of people. And with the growth issue as well, I think that's a huge part of it. We need to deliver for residents, and growth is the way that we do that. And I think we've been a little stuck for a little too long on that question. And it really hits everything, right? Commercial mixed use growth is super meaningful, not just because it brings revenue in so that we can fully fund things like Medford Community Media or our roads and sidewalks, our schools, public safety. But it also is the only way to lower the residential tax bill at the end of the day. And I think, you know, when we talk about what does that look like, we have been trying to keep the increase as low as we can, or not necessarily as low as we can, but our costs are going up faster than our revenue. Our revenue's capped. Our costs are not. And there is pressure, right? We are sitting in a building that needs to be rebuilt. The cheapest time to do it is right now. Well, cheapest time to do it was 10 years ago.
I was going to add to that. But no. I hear you.
So growth is the answer there. And you look at some of our neighbors, I mean, especially, and I don't know if we can do these exact things, but we can try.
Right.
You know, you look at a Cambridge or a Waltham, and they have this commercial base that really supports all the other things that they need to do as a city. Doesn't mean everything's that there is perfect, but it means that they have a different set of choices than we do.
I worked in Waltham for about 15 years. And
yeah.
I saw that process. It was incredible what they did down there.
Yeah.
It really was. All right, so one of the questions, to me, this is an important question, okay? There seems to be a gap between how the council engages with the public and how residents feel about being heard. It's been brought up a lot. I mean, it has been. It's one of those things. So, my question, what do you think is causing the gap? I don't know, what could the council do differently, to help people feel their input is being heard, and it matters in your decision making. I mean, you guys ultimately, you're the president of the council. You guys ultimately, like you said earlier, make the decisions. But how do you make people feel like they're involved, like like the input's there from? I know it's difficult.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I mean, I think I sit before you here a little bit humbled.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm working and thinking about this a little differently. We're never all going to agree.
No.
There's a great quote attributed to many people. If you agree with me on 80%, let's work together. If you agree with me on 100%, you're nuts.
Right. No, that's true. I love that quote. Yep. I know that quote.
And even if you agree with me on 20% or 40% or 50%, right? Yeah. Like, we agree on something.
Right.
And those are things we can work on. And I think the other piece of it is just not getting ourselves put into this pitched battle where, I believe that if you're on the other side of the table from me, you are my enemy.
Enemy, right.
And I think we've been caught a little bit in a scarcity mindset here in Medford. We are trying to do important things that haven't been done in a long time, but where are the resources there, And
right.
we end up in this situation where we're, and I think you just have to do this sometimes, right? You have to do what you can with what you have. But I think that also looks a lot like asking people to do more with less. I think the zoning conversation was an example.
Yep.
We said, well, this is what the mayor's given us, and so this is what we get, and we need to implement this plan, right? It goes back to that. I think there's a really good faith intent, like, let's execute, let's implement our city's comprehensive plan, first comprehensive plan in decades. But do we have the resources to do it? Do we have the resources to communicate and engage? Yeah. And then do I, especially I, standing at that podium, feel like I'm under attack or that we're agreeing to disagree? Right. And I think that, for me, that's a lot up here.
Of course it is, yeah.
And if I can, I think acknowledging a mistake is the first step, right?
Right.
And I feel like on the zoning, we tried to get there pretty early on.
Right.
Once we had heard from residents, hey, what is going on here? This is a lot. This is too much. I wrote something down. I made a speech. I said, let's reset this.
Yep.
And honoring that, like, our intentions were good, but maybe the communication wasn't good, or I started to feel like folks at the podium were coming after me personally when we were having a disagreement. And I think you can react to that in a way that turns it up.
Yes.
Or turns it down.
Yeah.
And I think
we've seen it happen both ways.
Yeah. And it's a two-way street, but I can only control my end. And if I am sitting there and I say, turn it down, let's try to get back to that place where we can say, thank you. Yeah. We heard what you said. Yeah. We're going to be talking about this again. I think that's really important. And then taking that in and saying, okay, we need to adjust. We need to make sure that maybe the outcome's not what everybody wants.
Right.
And there was going to be people who disagree with things.
Right.
But at least they didn't feel like they were disrespected in some way.
Yes.
And I think that
that's important.
It's incredibly important. It's the first, seeing your neighbor as a human being.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just going to throw this in, and then we'll get to the next question. I feel, and I mean this, that everybody in the city basically wants the same things.
Yeah.
And I think what separates, or what seems to be the division part of it, is it's how we get there, Zach. That's all. And that's where I think everyone's got to, just how do we get there? We all want the new school. We all want, but how do we get there?
Well, how we get there is together.
Correct. All right.
And
good answer.
And but more than that, I've been really trying to hold this in the way that I'm showing up.
Okay.
Tried to bring it to the campaign last year, which was very much, I think, the most it's been in a while since the great McGlynn-Penta days. And those debates, it was very much one side or the other.
Yeah.
These 7 mean one thing, these 7 mean the other. The other example, plan A, plan E.
Right.
Right.
No, I know. I know. There's a lot.
Yeah, and it just, I've been trying to work with Councilor Scarpelli.
Yep.
I've heard from people who said, I've never agreed with you on anything, but how you're thinking about the ambulance contract or the trash. How do we get a better plan on the trash? And just in general, how is the council working together that it feels different? And I think we're going to be working together on neighborhood meetings and trying to get out into the wards. We're working on implementing our new charter. And more than anything, finding the answers, improving communication.
You got a lot going on.
Hey, it's busy.
Yeah, we can go on and on, but all right. So we're going to go to the next question now.
Yeah.
We could have stayed on that for probably another hour, but
I'll come back.
Yeah, we're going to have you back to finish. Really, I mean, there's so much. All right, so there's an ongoing conversation. You hit on it just now a little bit. Bringing in more commercial development, help reduce residential taxes, help with job creation. When you look at Medford, location, you look at its character, how realistic is bringing in that commercial development? And what do you as the council, what plans do you have, the entire council, to bring in, to attract, to bring it in, to get more commercial development here? Yeah.
I mean, I think, we touched on it earlier. We touched on it earlier, right?
Yes.
Growth, especially on the commercial industrial side, is the only way we're going to have that residential tax bill get lower. Right. The exemption helps some people, doesn't help everyone. Right. And there's a break even, and if we do the exemption, some people over that pay more, right? But that's, I think, really key, and we need that commercial and mixed use growth. Yeah. I think, what's the environment for it right now? I think there's kind of two paths, and one is lab office, which is not doing good.
Right now, it's not. No.
But it could be. I think, are we at the bottom of the cycle? Are the rates going to change? Yeah. What's big news on tariffs today? What does that mean? Right.
Yep. No one can predict the future.
No.
But there's trends. There's trends.
Right. And I think, if that comes back around, if the government is, coming back to this, we want that lab, green energy, that's a path. Right. The other path is more walkable destination type places. Yeah, that's the path I want to see. Yeah, well, and I think that fits really well with mixed use. You don't need to just have some big plot on Mystic Ave to do it. Like, you can bring that to the squares. Yep. And I think being bold and ambitious about that, but also smart about it, is really how we need to approach it. And executing, like, the city has comprehensive plan. We have visions that we want to see, but we need to execute on those plans, and we need our leadership to get the right people at the table to do big things. Because if we can do big things, then benefits come, and not just it's benefits to our everyday life. Having a more vibrant square where you feel safe to walk around, where you're not worried about cut through traffic and waiting in the middle island, and there's some things that are coming along with the Main Street improvement there, but we really need that kind of that growth, and then we need to be ambitious and do big things.
Good answer. I hate to say this, but I get jealous when I go to Melrose, because I do go there sometimes, and Melrose Square at night, incredible.
Yeah, the trees alone.
Yeah, no, it's just the lighting. It is incredible. The amount of business, and it's not just restaurants; it's everything. So Yeah, it really is.
And one other key to that, I know we gotta keep the train rolling here.
Yes.
But when you have residents who live right there,
nice.
It
helps.
It's more customers.
Yep.
It's more customers. And if they're walking to the thing 5 minutes down the road versus driving to another part of the region, that's good for us too.
Yeah. All right. We've hit on quite a few things. You hit on this a little earlier too, so you're jumping the gun on me, Zach.
I'm trying not to.
That's
I'm
okay.
trying not
to. No. Another major conversation. This goes on everywhere. Mm-hmm. I don't have to tell you. Mm-hmm. I go for a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. It comes up almost, sooner or later it comes up. But, the zoning and housing. Some people want, affordability, opportunity. I've talked to others, that are concerned about how new development is going to affect existing neighborhoods. What's going on in their neighborhoods now? How is it going to affect them? When I say the neighborhoods, they're talking about their property values and everything else. I don't have to. So, what do you think about that as far as the zoning and the housing? I know there's many different ways to get there.
Yeah. Well, I think start with what we agree on, which is I think that the corridors, the squares, the areas of the city that are the prime areas for the commercial and mixed use growth. Yep. There seems to be more agreement there. Not universal, but I think there's more agreement there. And I think that the residential question is the big question. And that was what happened last year. We started talking about residential. We started talking about the neighborhoods. And zoning is a starting point. It's a foundation.
Right.
It's not, if we zone this, it will be this. And we know that because we have zoning now. That's wild. 16-story hotels in parts of the city you'd never imagine.
No,
right?
I know.
And nobody built them, but it's an out-of-date zoning code. But I think coming back to what does it mean for people in their daily lives, right? We do have a housing crisis. People want to live here. They love Medford. A lot of people I know, young and old, have had to leave, maybe want to come back.
Yeah, I know a few.
Our housing doesn't fit what we're looking for. There's not enough senior housing. There's not enough, certainly affordable housing. I mean, leave that out. That's the housing crisis,
that's a
right?
Whole nother thing.
You can't afford anything.
Yeah, that will do one show on.
And
if
that's big A affordable housing, small A affordable housing, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Just like what it means to have someone have something that feels affordable, and also subsidized housing inventory, capital A affordable,
right?
But I think it's kind of a three-pronged thing, and I talked about this a lot, and to me it really applies to everything that I think about.
Okay.
Number one is, how do we become a city of yes? How do we say yes to more? Let private homeowners do more. Let them adapt their houses, adapt their lots in ways that fit what we need as a city. And say yes to big, bold projects, right? I think even this Medford Square project on the City Hall lots, I really wanted to see that a little different. Include the condemned Hamilton Companies building. People are moving out of the building there, the medical building, the next to the lots, right? There's an opportunity to maybe rethink the street grid. And we're not there. And, some of that is that some of those folks didn't want to come to the table. Atrius Health is a great example. They have a big parking lot.
Yes.
And we're talking about in this project building a big parking lot right on the other side of City Hall. And maybe the Atrius lot maybe needs some work. Maybe the partnership just can't get there. But how do we try to get there? How do we get to yes? Second thing is that getting to yes doesn't mean we're putting up a for sale sign, right? We need to be at the table, not on the menu. And really just follow this principle. Medford's not for sale. We're trying to do big things. We're trying to grow. But that doesn't mean we're just going to the highest bidder, lowest bidder, whoever.
No, I know. I understand.
And I think that's important.
Yeah.
Last piece, how do we build a city for all of us? Help people stay. Help people who want to come here. And do that while preserving our history, preserving the things we love.
Right.
And, it's not easy. I tend to think that those were the values.
Right.
And also, I don't want to get back into the back and forth, right? But the plan that got people mad wasn't from the city council. That was supercharged by the community development board.
Right.
Now we have a different community development board. We worked through an agreement with the mayor. We're having joint meetings. We have one next Wednesday.
Okay.
I think frustratingly at the same time as a good meeting on
Right.
the high school.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. No, I know. I know.
You know, all of those things are important.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I hear you. So, you know, let's talk about, you know, major infrastructure projects,
Yeah.
you know, that are, we know they're going to happen. They're going on. You guys are looking into it now. You know, the high school, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
A central fire station.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain as best you can for our listeners, you know, why does Medford need to make these investments, okay? And, you know, in the back part of that question, you know, what happens if the city doesn't move forward on them?
Right. Well, I mean, this is a kind of a tale of two projects here, right?
Absolutely.
There's one that's probably not moving forward and one that right now looks like it is.
Right.
I think the new fire station was a huge missed opportunity. I obviously supported the vote, but I also understand why people were frustrated. Our fire union firefighters, I think it was a missed opportunity to get everyone at the table and get to yes. And I was advocating for this up until the last, I think even if we'd done that 2 weeks beforehand, that could have been good.
Right.
Obviously,
Yep.
you want to do that 6 months beforehand. But even if we'd gotten there,
Right.
I think we'd have a different conversation. That wouldn't be another thing that we have to deal with. And we had to deal with something where we built a high school, a library, a police station, and
Right.
a fire station in the 60s. They reached end of life.
Right.
Maintenance wasn't what it needed to be. They all needed to be replaced. And we have to think ahead, too.
Yeah.
Like, we built 3 elementary schools and 2 middle schools all at the same time.
Right.
You know, in 20 years, those are going to need major work. We're doing some
Correct.
work on them right now.
Right.
That
Yep.
roof replacement, HVAC.
I've seen that. Yeah, you
and
read
I think
about it. Yeah.
that'll help.
Necessary
but-
maintenance.
But, you know, we build these things in these chunks and clusters, and that means that their end of life is often at the same time.
Right.
As of now, from what I've heard from the mayor, no plans for the fire station. We need it. We're going to need it.
Oh, it's got to come someday.
Even if we did it right now,
Yeah.
it's more expensive than if we voted on it in 2024.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think the high school is a different story. It's an opportunity to get it right, to bring everyone to the table,
Yes.
build something for our community,
Yeah.
not just for the kids, not just for the teachers, not just for the families, for our whole community. This is a place where you can go to the pool right now, go to the pool, get lunch, come to Medford Community Media,
Right.
get a haircut
Yeah.
in the cosmetology shop. But also, if it's 15 degrees out, the classrooms are cold and kids are bringing blankets to school.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I understand all that.
Yeah. No, yeah. And, I just
Yeah.
think for folks,
Yep.
same conversation, right?
Right.
We talked about it a little earlier. Cheapest time to do this high school, 10 years ago. Second cheapest time now.
Right.
And it's fiscally responsible to get this done. There's a great example, and I'd love to talk about maybe some of the upcoming meetings here. So this is
Yep.
the high school building project,
Right.
and right now we're coming up to February 23rd on Monday. There's a design meeting, and that is it's a starting point. It's trying to. Right now, there's like 50 options.
Right.
And this is let's bring them down a little bit.
Yep.
Get a few options. In a few months, we'll be at a place where we have a preferred option. Most of the options on the table do have some element of renovation.
Okay.
And then really in March, there were a couple other items on that graphic. An early March time for community input on the design options. And then in March and April and May, that's the process of narrowing down to one. This only goes up to March, but we're working. I've talked to Vice Chair Graham, school committee member, Counselor Scarpelli. really trying to say, how do we get the message out? How do we get mail out? How do people know how they can engage? Our goal is to try to get a mailer out to the whole city with the process. And the great opportunity here is the state, you know, for our feasibility study, the state share was 53% of the project.
Right.
And going forward, we're hoping that the number stays around there.
Right.
In the design, the big list of 50 options, there was an option for a code upgrade of this school.
Okay.
This current building.
Right.
About $400 million.
Yeah.
And then there were several sets of options for a complete demo, partial demo, different scales of that. Yeah. But the interesting thing there was it actually wasn't a huge distance between keeping a lot of this building and keeping very little of it.
Yeah.
You know, in the mid $700 million to low $900 million range.
Right.
Huge number.
That is an incredibly huge number.
But you know, even if you compare to other projects that have happened, certainly Somerville, that's almost 10 years ago.
Yes.
Inflation through the roof.
Yeah.
Up 30% just since 2022.
No, I understand. Yeah.
But this school does so much. You know, people say this building's huge. It was built for all those kids. We're actually undersized on our Voc shops.
Because I don't want to interrupt, but
on,
everyone, we did a show on the Voc.
Yeah.
And I was seriously shocked that there's a waiting list to get in there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, you know, I haven't been to school in a long time, but boy, I was impressed with that Voc.
It's a brilliant.
It's an incredible,
brilliant. And now it's one school.
Right.
Yeah. It's not this Voc kids,
I understand.
non-Voc.
Yeah.
And that's but that's because people want to do all the programs. They want to do the vocational, they want to do the arts and music, they want to do the athletics.
We got a restaurant up here.
We got a restaurant.
Yeah,
I mean, again,
we promoted that. Yeah, and it's a good restaurant.
It's good.
They make a good lunch.
Right here, Medford Community Media, Medford Family Network.
Yes.
This project's talking about making sure we have pre-K for every family, making sure that we have the Curtis Tufts back up here, so you don't have that separation. You know, it's a big project. It's bigger than some of the projects that are kind of cited as, well, this is what this cost. Right. But Lexington, you know, and it's Lexington, I get it. But
I hope you get it.
It's Lexington, right? But their share, they're not getting 50%.
Right.
They're getting 20%.
No, I understand.
Because they've got the multi-million-dollar homes.
They're all set.
But their school, you know, that they approved one. It doesn't have all the things that I just listed.
Yeah.
And that was $650 million.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think, and one of the good things is that a lot of these projects, you start with this 50 options and the number's big, and there's ways to bring it down and keep all of the important things we want to do. And I think if we talk about that, engage residents come to the process over the next few months to get to a design option, that's really important.
And I think that's a key to get people. Yeah. And I hope, you know, we posted it on the show. They used the graphic for it. And that's what needs to be done. People need to get involved. Yeah. And I'll say it again. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I believe that everyone wants, you know, the main focus is how do we get there?
Yeah.
That's it. How do we get there so everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do we say these are all things that are really important?
Right.
How do we try to include as many of them as we can?
Right.
It's easy to say, well, Medford Community Media, $2 million, throw it out the window.
Yeah.
But what does that mean for a show like this?
Right. No, it means a lot. I hear you. Yeah.
And two, like, like, you know, this is very back of the napkin. I'm going to say something people don't want me to say because it's not the time in the conversation for it, right? But in the process, right? Which is defined by the state, Mass School Building Authority.
Right. There's a lot. Yep.
But, you know, it's a huge number. 750 million, 800 million.
Yes.
Still under $1 billion.
No, I understand.
But $1 billion, right? It's a 1 in 50 year project.
Right.
You know, maybe hopefully we can keep it for 80 if we do everything right.
If we do the maintenance. Which is a big,
that's important.
Yes.
But if the state pays for half, right? Let's say it's 800 million.
Yeah.
And the state pays 50%. We're actually paying less than the code upgrade, because you know what the thing is about the code upgrade for 400 million? State won't pay any of it.
Yeah.
So it's not really, you know, It's still $400 million either way.
Right.
One way we get a new school, one way with all of these things that we need, one way we keep this building running.
Right, I hear you.
But it's still $400 million. And if you look at the napkin on that, it's a lot of money, but it's not $6,000 a year. It's about $1,000.
Right.
Right. And we don't know the final number.
No, we don't.
We don't know we don't know what the tax rate's going to be. We don't know how the debt's going to be distributed.
Right.
Like sometimes you pay more in some years, less in
And
others.
less,
It's kind of
then,
a curve.
Yeah, and the state's only going to pay you at the end of every year, right?
Right.
Yeah, I know
So
how it all works.
All of those things are complicating
there's
factors.
a lot.
But if you can have that conversation and align that with two other things, which is, can we get a residential exemption in place ahead of that?
Right.
There will be a lot of people who are helped with that. I've been working with Representative Donato, Garbely, Barber, Senator Jalen on some more options for getting just more options for tax exemptions, especially for seniors, for veterans.
Yeah, that's who I worry about, the seniors and the veterans. I got to be honest.
No, how do we put all of that in place and say, we know this is big, but we thought it through. This is every tool in our toolbox.
Right.
And we need to do this. And it's still more fiscally responsible, and we're trying to mitigate the impact.
Okay.
Because that's the thing, right?
No, I know.
Do it now, do it in 5 years, do it in 10 years,
Right.
spend the same amount of money to keep this building going. We don't have a lot of options, other than not having a high school, which I don't think anybody wants.
That's not going to happen. We got to have a high school, that's for sure. All right. We're going to get to the last question, okay?
All right.
As a council president, you have a unique perspective.
Yeah.
You see the issues, you see the competing priorities.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is it's not a difficult question. It's sort of, like a fortune teller, I guess. But, if you had, what's your vision? Let's say 10, 15 years out for the city of Medford. If you could give a quick synopsis, here's my vision 10, 15 years out. What are we looking at?
I think the missing piece has been, what is our plan for revenue and growth so that our city departments have what they need, so that we're seeing that growth, so that when costs are going up, the impacts aren't just on residential taxes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how do we do all of that with thriving squares and businesses, more affordable, more abundant homes, fitting what our residents' needs are, not just today, but what we might need in 15 or 20 years. Yep. Making sure our streets are safe for everyone, right? All forms of transit, driver, biker, roller, pedestrian. Yep. And I think we get to all of that by becoming a city of yes. A city that doesn't say, no, we don't have enough to do that. No, it's going to take too long. No, it's too hard. But how do we make it work? How do we get to yes?
That's the big
But I think
question.
some of that's a mindset, right?
Yeah.
Some of that is you start from the point. You don't start from the point of, we just can't do it. Because then it's all figuring out how to say no.
Yeah.
Right? If you can say, how do we say yes? You're not going to get to yes every time.
No.
Not every idea is going to be the best idea for what needs to happen.
Yep.
But I think there's when I hear about people banging at the door on Mystic Avenue who want to build something on a place that, all of us, there was one zoning thing we did that nobody really said was controversial. Mystic Avenue. First thing we did. And the plan, is there. The zoning's there. But then you have people banging on the door and they say, well, is that zoning going to get changed? Is it going to get repealed? What's the vision and the plan? How long is it going to take me to get from putting my idea in to buying the property I need to buy to building the thing we want to see? And it's missed opportunities. And I think, if we're putting out a mindset and a vision of, if you come to City Hall, we want to get to yes.
Absolutely.
Changes things.
Yeah. Any business. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Mystic Ave is, as far as, getting more revenue.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be honest. I just don't, to me, it's all lost dollars. The whole,
exactly.
Yeah. And that's not good. But
Well, the zoning's there.
Yes, no, it is now. Yeah,
and that's huge. I mean, but it's been there for over a year, and then it's the second step, right? We did the plan. City council did its job, did the zoning.
Yep.
Now, how do we bring people together? Start building something.
Right. Yeah. Because that'll help everybody.
Exactly.
In the long run. All right. Unfortunately, I have to wrap it up. So, it's that time again, Zach. I want to thank you. It was nice to have you on the show. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you came on.
Yeah.
And, maybe we can get the division and get things where we need to get them. I think everybody wants the same thing.
I agree.
All right. So I want to thank you, Zac Beers, for joining us on Medford Happenings. And I want to wish continued success for the Medford City Council. I also want to take a minute. I want to thank everyone who has been watching the show. I want to thank you for your feedback. The other thing is, if you would like to appear on the show, you can contact us at Medford Happenings 02155@gmail.com. And please do. You will be able to watch replays of this program on Medford Community Media Access Channel. It's usually on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. And you can check out our website. The guy that's doing this website is incredible, Bruce. I can't thank him enough. Anyhow, it's medfordhappenings.com. Very simple. You can also either view or listen to a podcast of this program, which is really getting a lot of activity. And you can also find us on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll be back shortly at Medford Happenings. So for the Medford Happenings team, for Paul, for Marco, Bruce, Margaret, James, thank you, Zach. I am John Petrella. And remember, Medford, stay informed. Thank you all. Ta-da!